Hello everyone, welcome to my online classes, Angela Anatomy Classroom. So today we are going to study about the processes of a scapula. Okay, so we have three processes of a scapula. First is spinous process, second is acromion process, and third one is coracoid process. So first we would start with spinous process. Okay, spinous process is located on the dorsal surface of the scapula. Here we have drawn the spinous process. This is the spinous process. See, okay. So it is a triangular shelf-like projection and it divides the dorsal surface of scapula into two major regions. What are the two major regions? Upper portion is called supraspinous fossa. Okay, and the lower one, see here it is dividing it into two parts, dividing scapula into two parts. Upper part is supraspinous fossa and the lower one is called as infraspinous fossa. So spinous process is dividing the dorsal surface of a scapula into two parts, that is supraspinous and infraspinous fossa. Apart from this, this spinous process is having three borders and two surfaces. Okay, three borders, anterior, posterior and lateral, and two surfaces, superior and inferior. So next we will be talking about the borders and surfaces in detail. First is anterior border, second one is lateral border, and third one is posterior border. Okay, so if we talk about the anterior border, see this is the anterior border of spinous process. Spinous process of a scapula. This is the posterior border and this one is the lateral border. Anterior border attached to the dorsal surface of a scapula. We can see it clearly. And the lateral border bounds the supraglenoid notch. That is also clear. And the third one, posterior border, is also known as crest of a spine. Okay. So if we talk about the posterior border, crest of a spine, this is posterior border. So upper lip of crest of a spine has the origin of trapezius and the lower lip of posterior fibers of deltoid arise through lower lip of crest of a spine. Okay. So now talking about these surfaces, clearly two surfaces are visible, superior surface and inferior surface. Okay, so what is the role of superior surface? It forms the lower boundary of supraspinous fossa and gives origin to supraspinatus. Okay, so from the superior surface the supraspinatus muscle arises. Talking about the inferior surface, it forms the upper limit of obviously it forms the upper limit of infraspinous fossa, and the infraspinatus muscles arise from inferior surface. See, this is the inferior surface of spinous process, and see this is forming the upper limit of infraspinous fossa. This is infraspinous fossa, this is the upper limit of infraspinous fossa. So this is formed by the inferior surface of this spinous process. Okay, so I think this is clear from here, and next we will move to acromion process. So the third process is coracoid process. Okay, so coracoid process is a beak-like structure which arises here from the anterior end. You can see in the diagram. Okay, and it bends sharply. See here, you can see it is bending sharply to project superior anteriorly. So I think it is very simple and visible in the diagram as well. So there should be no problem. If you have any doubts or anything you want to ask, you can come to the comment section and type your question there. Thank you very much. So acromion process. Acromion process, as you can see in the diagram, it projects forward at right angle from the spine of the scapula. Okay, so it overhangs glenoid cavity. It is also known as acromion point of shoulder. It has two surfaces, superior and inferior. Superior surface is subcutaneous and rough, while inferior surface is smooth. Okay, it has two borders, medial and lateral. Okay, now talking about the muscle attachments. From the medial border of the acromion process arises the trapezius muscles, and from the lateral border of the acromion process arise the intermediate fibers of deltoid muscle. So it was all about acromion process. If you have any doubts, you can type in comment section. Also, we need to know about the AC joint. AC joint is formed by a circular facet in medial border of the acromion process and lateral end of clavicle. Okay, again I am repeating, circular facet in medial border of the acromion process and lateral end of clavicle form the AC joint, acromioclavicular joint. So from the name it is very clear that acromion process and clavicle are forming the AC joint, but the location exactly where the clavicle, lateral border of the clavicle fits is a circular facet in the medial border of the acromion process. Okay, few more things we need to know about the acromion process. First is coracoacromial ligament. Okay, so it arises from the tip of the acromion process, and acromial angle you need to know. What is acromial angle? It is formed between the lateral border of acromion and lateral border of crest of spine. Okay, so AC acromial angle you need to remember. Okay, so it is formed at the, I am repeating again, it is formed at the junction of where lateral border of acromion lies as well as the lateral border of crest of spine. So I think that's all for acromion process. If you need to know anything else, or is there any confusion, or you want to give any suggestions, you can type in the comment section. Thank you very much.